At this point, it's my pleasure to bring up the captain of the ship this year, SC12's General Chair, Jeff Hollingsworth.
Thank you. First of all, I want to welcome you to Salt Lake, and I know everybody's been making snow jokes, but I'll note a little over 2 years ago we started work on the logo, which reflects both snowy mountains and sunny skies, and we did nail that in HPC forecasting, so I'm very pleased about that. But most of all, I'm really pleased that you're able to be here for supercomputing this year. I think this is an exciting time for our field. We have a wonderful conference planned over the next week's time frame, and I do want to just touch a few of the highlights, and I'll be happy to take all your questions about how we're doing this year and what's going on. So my quick set of reminders here is, first of all, I think one of the hearts of supercomputing, one of the things that really helps differentiate supercomputing than a lot of other venues, is it's a unique blending of a trade show and a high-quality technical conference that coexist and really do exist as a much better venue because the other parts are there. And so I think in everything I've been thinking about for the 2 years plus planning this conference is how to best take advantage of a good experience for exhibitors, a good experience for customers, and a good experience for a technical program. And we've worked very hard on that. So with regard to the technical program, we're pleased to have the largest number of submissions we've ever had for the technical papers program. We've picked an excellent program, including the nomination of 9 different student papers for Best Student Paper, which I think is the largest number of student papers we've considered for that award. That reflects the high quality of work that's being done in this field, the innovation, and really importantly, the innovation by the young innovators in the field. The students are still up and coming. I think we're very excited about that. Total attendance as of about a half an hour ago was about 9,300 change. That's exciting. But then returning to the exhibit floor, we have 334 exhibitors this year on the exhibit floor. That's the largest number we've ever had in SC conference history. If we look at the 2 market sectors, remember there's a research component and a commercial component on the show floor. In the commercial component, we have the largest total square footage by commercial companies ever in the history of the SC conference. So as we saw in the wonderful background briefing on the industry, the field is growing and there is solid interest. And this is another metric that reflects that while the rest of the world economy struggles a bit, we're moving forward to new heights in high-performance computing. And I think SC is very proud of that. I would be also remiss if I didn't talk briefly about SINAP, which is our world record famous high-performance computing network. The number they always like to tell people are how many bits per second come into the show floor, and this year with 790 gigabits per second. That's an exciting number, but I think what's more exciting about it is why do we bring 790 gigabits per second in other than it's fun to do, which for the team involved is very fun to do. But I think what's exciting about it is it allows us to do certain kinds of demonstrations and try out certain leading edge examples of what the potential is of distributed high performance computing, real-time visualization of high performance computing results. And so it's for the purpose of doing that science and showing off that science that we bring that bandwidth in. It's not just to peg some meter someplace. Also, talking about the development of the future generations of high performance computing, we're very pleased to bring back the Cluster Challenge this year. Remember, that's an opportunity for students to, over a 48-hour period here at SC, program up, in fact, in some cases, build up their computing systems and try to run them on some applications of interest. This is an exciting opportunity. It's a great way to get students engaged about the field and to get a good experience in the field. And one of the milestones we have in the program this year is 2 things. First of all, we're using 2 divisions within the competition. There's a little fee, which represents a very small, very affordable cluster, and what's exciting about that is the teams that participate in that, they don't have to give it back at the end of the week. They get to take that cluster home and have it for the whole next few years as long as it's an exciting cluster. And we're also very excited with a nice local tie-in. For the first time in history, we have a high school team participating in the Cluster Challenge. They're from Skyline High here in Utah, and so we're very excited to have them competing on the show floor against a number of undergraduate and graduate teams from around the world. So that's a nice bit of a local news story. So with that, I'd be happy to take questions about SC12 and how we're doing. No questions? No questions. Really?
I have one question.
Sure.
George Turabopino with Computer and Science and Engineering. And I have read in the mainstream media it was 980 gigabits per second, so let me see it correctly.
Okay.
Is the correct number?
I believe 790 gigabits per second is the wide area network bandwidth. Now, maybe that was some other either misprint or maybe it was some local area network within the show floor cross-section bandwidth, something I'm not positive, but I've double-checked today twice with our SINET team, and that is the wide area network.
That's a really impressive number either way.
Right, but that is the number, yes. Question in the back.
The number of attendees this year, is that a record as well?
Okay, we were not at a record number of attendees. The record total attendance was at SC11 last year. Obviously, that's the final number we know for SC11. Will move a little bit, but it will probably end, I would guess, somewhere around 9,500 is my best guess. That's slightly less than total attendance. We believe the technical program attendance, which is running right now right around 4,300, that attendance will not quite equal Salt Lake, but should exceed what we saw in New Orleans for SC10. So not records on number of bodies, but darn near close to it.
Sadly, this year we've lost a lot of the national labs and other user exhibits, which
Yes.
are always fascinating. Is there anything that you can say about whether we're likely to see some change, any developments for future years?
Thank you for raising that. Obviously, that's been the elephant in the room for the entire year of planning this conference, or at least since June. And there are a number of ways of looking at that. So, on the one regard, we are very saddened to have a diminished presence of the U.S. federal government laboratories this year at SC. I will note that, for example, the Department of Energy, which had 150 participants in the technical program last year, is bringing 100 this year. So there is a still significant presence, although it has been reduced. As you noted in the question, the most visible difference is the absence on the show floor of booths under the brand name of the Department of Energy. I will say that their work of the scientists of the Department of Energy are still very well represented here at Supercomputing this year. They may not be as well defined as go to their booth, but even on the show floor, through their industry partners and research partners at universities, you will see a lot of the science that has been both funded and conducted directly by the national labs. You're going to have to look a little harder to find it, but it is there. The other piece I'd like to note is that within the technical program, the technical papers contributions reflect the scientific leadership, in particular the Department of Energy, and we went through and counted, and if we looked at the author affiliations of those authors of all the papers except for the technical program, nearly 25% are affiliated with the Department of Energy laboratory. So the Department of Energy and its work is still very well represented here. It's just going to be a little harder to find.
I'll ask one more follow-up question, if I may. Since you've got industry analysts of excellence here and members of the press, is there anything that this community can do to get the word out that would help get some of that stuff back on track?
Yes, I'd like to touch on that. So, if this is a one-year event, it's unfortunate for the colleagues who could not make it here. If this is the beginning of a new norm, this is a serious problem for science, because science can be conducted in many ways, and people keep asking me, couldn't we just all Skype in for the conference? And my answer to that is, if you want to report your results from yesterday, you could probably do that on Skype. If you want to have those hallway conversations with your colleagues, if you want to get that inspiration that's going to lead to the next discovery, we need physical conferences. And so I think the message I've been trying to carry forward through this year is the importance of face-to-face meetings for generating those next ideas and those next results. And that to the degree we can articulate and document those successes of the inspirations, I think that will be important. One project we're just starting and trying here this year, Ian's actually been kicking off, is we've arranged for a videographer. We've invited select attendees to come and tell us their HPC and in particular SC experiences that have changed their careers. So what is being at an SC conference led to a new collaboration, a new idea. So we're going to try and capture that here and disseminate it to help explain the value of these physical meetings to the community in the world, and especially policymakers. Yes?
Just had it not been for the pullback on the national labs, what would your attendance might have been?
Well, if I had that kind of forecasting ability, I would probably be doing something other than forecasting SC numbers, but I will take a crack at it. I think there's every reason to believe we could have been on track to break all records. If we look at we broke the total exhibitor record, We didn't break the total square footage of exhibit space. That record's actually held by 2008. She also mentioned this commercial exhibits record. That's a 4-year-old record from 2008 we broke this year. We were on track to break the total exhibit record. In fact, in the aggregate, it's over 120,000 square feet. We missed it by less than 1,000 square feet. Even that's with all the loss of the DOE booths. So, had DOE not reduced their presence, and to some degree a couple of DOE reductions, we would have been clearly, in terms of exhibit hall, and I think all the trending indicated that attendance records would have been on near record levels.